In today's show, we're going to talk about one of motorsport's ugly truths that might be harming you right now. Hello, it's Enzo Mucci. Welcome to episode 23 of the Race Driver Coach Show. And yeah, we're going to get a bit ugly. And that means I'm going to tell you a truth about motorsport that you must understand and take on, because I'm seeing so many people fall for it. Now, there's three different stages of drivers that I work with. It's the people at the beginning of the career, the people at the middle of the career, and the people at the top end of their career that have achieved it already, right? And there's something I'm noticing, something that links all three. Yes, they've got passion. Yes, they've always had this desire and this love to do what they want to do in life and reach the top. But the problem is that many of you guys, many of us, many people, many drivers, athletes in other sports, singers, movie, whoever, when they're striving for something, they let passion become too much. It takes up too much of their time. It takes too much of their psyche, their focus. And in doing so, it puts them on this feel-good type trajectory, right, that completely screws them over and makes them perform less, but also makes them unhappy. They don't feel fulfilled. And I want to explain how this works. You've got something in mind, right? Say if you're at the beginning. Let's deal with the people at the beginning of their career now, right? They probably haven't even touched a car or in their first few years. And they're looking up at the Formula One, the IndyCar, the NASCAR, the World Rally Championship, MotoGP, World Touring Car Championship, DTM, whatever it is, whatever the big goal is. And they paint it in this beautiful picture in their head. They see it. They dream about it. It feels amazing. It's all they care about. I want that, nothing else. And it takes over their whole life. Problem. I mean, you need that for passion, right? For energy, for motivation, for reason, because it's hitting values within you that turn you on, that make you happy, that make you motivated. That's all that's really happening. It's delivering certain values that your brain over the years has learned. I like this, this and this, and as soon as I experience them, I feel a good emotion. That's just the truth. We think it's our calling, but really that's our mind ticking boxes and saying, this is the emotion it creates, but I don't want to go down that route. What's happening to drivers now is they're looking up, I'm getting emails from people saying, Enzo, I want to be in F1, it means everything to me, it's all I've ever wanted to do, and they haven't even freaking driven a car in their life. They haven't got the money to do it, and it's like, whoa, just hang on a second. You're going to spend all of your high teens or 20s, whatever age they're at the moment, dreaming about this amazing goal of being an F1. The problem is, you'll spend so long dreaming, and you'll spend so long watching X videos to make yourself feel better, and you'll spend so long looking at all of the drivers that are getting in there. You know what happens? You don't actually act on it as much as you need to. Yes, you've got to have the passion. You need that there. First thing in the morning, that's what I want. Bam, what are we going to do today? It's got to kick into action. Spending too long dreaming, too long daydreaming. And then what happens is you start to point fingers at drivers that have got it easier and it's okay for them, and you lose hope and you're stuck in this rut for years and it's just not happening. When at the end of the day, what you got to do is revisit the goal, know why you want it, brilliant, reverse engineer it, show yourself what the first step is. What have I got to do this time in 6 months? And you apply everything to making sure you achieve that 6-month goal or 1-year goal. That is it. You try everything. That's the one driver. If you're at the beginning and you're letting passion overrule you, then it's going to harm you. You've got to be more calculated. You've got to be more business minded. Saying, okay, that's what I want. I know I want it. It's amazing, brilliant. But what are we going to do about it? How are we going to do it? Who am I going to talk to today that can help me? Who can I sell to? Who can I provide value to that's going to get me that test or in that car for the first time? That's where the head should be. Not how much you want it. Not filling you, just plastering your wall full of photos of F1 drivers or putting your helmet on the F1 cars. That's great, brilliant. Bit of visualization, you need that. A bit of law of attraction, if you like that, you need that. Yeah, fine. But don't spend so long there. More time taking action. Don't want to get carried away. Then we go to the second type of driver I work with, and that's somebody who's on their way up. They've probably been racing 2, 3, 5 years, and they're still aiming for the top. They're still there racing, but now that person because they're passion driven and seeing it, but it's not happening quick enough, they're starting to get impatient. They're starting to lose hope. They're starting to lose love for their sport because they didn't think it would be this hard. They didn't think it would be so many challenges coming from everywhere. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to be a race driver, even though I'm still paying to race. So really, I'm a glorified track day runner. That's all I am. But it's just not happening. Start to lose the mojo, lose concentration, and they start to go to other things outside of racing to get that feeling, other sports and maybe stuff that's not so legal, and then it starts that spiral. And if you're in that spiral, it's your own freaking fault for putting so much passion and glory and beautifulness on the end goal and not on the dirt and the grit that's needed to get that goal. It is hard. It's a very mean and dark place, just like Rocky Balboa said.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Okay, it's a movie, but that's a dude that knows exactly. They had the passion, but they had the grit and the grind to even write the scripts that they were supposed to star in at the very beginning. He is a grafter. He is a grinder, a hustler. That's what you've got to be. You've got to be that. You've got to get passion from that side of your sport more than the end goal. You've got to love the process, which was spoken about before. Okay, that's number 2. And that's actually applicable to driver number 1 as well. So other people that are aspiring coming up, I don't want you to fall for the trap of saying it's so beautiful over there. Do you know why? Because when you get there, if you get through all of this process of non-dreaming and you're working and you're creating value for others that can give you a drive, if you get that far and you, amazingly, you're one of the 1% that make it all the way, but somehow you've still got passion on your mind. If you're there now, right, you're there, because I work with people as well that are at the very top. If you're there now and you've got a loss of it, a loss of love for what you're doing, you can't see the point in it, then it's because, again, you've fallen for the passion. It's like when you're going on holiday. You see this holiday before you go, you're saving up for it, you just booked it, and it's amazing. But when you're there, it's all right. You had some great video footage and stuff, and some times that were great, brilliant. But often, not always, 'cause it's great sometimes, but sometimes it's okay, but it wasn't as great as I thought it would be. Not when I was actually there, because I was there, screwing it up, seeing the world in my own negative way. Same as when you get to the big goal. The amount of times, and this is for anywhere in life, this is the life lesson from here. Anytime somebody gets to the top, something they've been aiming for all their life, they see the strings behind the puppet show. They start to see it's not as great as they thought. Maybe the start of it's brilliant, but then when it really gets into it, crunch time, it's not that great. It's not much different. I've had F1 bosses saying, actually, when we first went to F1, we thought it was big when we got promoted to that place in F1. But then actually it's just like GP2, just with a lot more crap around the outside. But essentially, I don't see it. I just take on more stress for less time at home. More money, great, but less time at home. Quality of life has gone down. That's just somebody who works in motorsport. Now, as a driver, you've got to perform outwardly against other drivers. This is where it gets difficult. Because you start to find out there's people, and I spoke to an F1 driver that I used to coach and work with, and he said, if it wasn't for the car being so great, I would not be here. I wouldn't be interested. Because the media are all over me. If I'm not quite smiling like I was at the beginning of the year, that's it, it's a story. And then the sponsors get upset, so I could actually lose a sponsor. Because also, not just the smile, but if they get you into a corner, the journalist, if they get you into a corner and they ask you a question because they want you to lead, they want to lead you, down a certain path so then they can make a story off it, they trap you through their questions, that can lose a sponsor. And then I lose the drive, or I get into trouble, or I'm known as somebody who's not very politically correct just because I slipped up on one word. And then you've got someone in the team, or people in the team, that have got political goals. And part of their political goals is to get you out of that seat and somebody else in because they're going to get paid for it, or it's going to mean something for the team. All of a sudden, it takes a very dark turn. This great goal that you had all this passion about, that you naively thought it would be that way, floating on a cloud, living the dream, the passion and all this, it's not like that. And I want you, if you're in that position now, to understand that it's business first. And you probably know this already, but you've got to understand it pretty quick because it will affect your performance and your happiness. And if you are in that position, it's time to take a step back and just remember the beauty that is in that sport. Play the business game, find every single world champion, especially the ones that stay there, in all of the sports, I pretty much say. I'm just going to brush them all with one brush, but the person who's at the top, the world champion, stays there, is good at business. It could be Usain Bolt, it could be Conor McGregor, it could be Muhammad Ali, Mayweather. Doesn't matter. If you're outside the ring, off the court, away, you are there for business. You know business. You've been bitten so many times, but you're still there because you toughened up. You're like, this is how the sport works. Okay, I got it. So you've got to know that side. But if you are in that situation, you're not enjoying it, you've got to start to be grateful. You've got to start to look around and see the things that your brain was ticking and saying, yeah, I do see that in this sport. I can enjoy it again. And you start to remind yourself and focus the mind on them areas as well. Getting off one there, but I've got to remind you, all of you that are listening to this, no matter what you're going for, the end goal is not all that. It's just a destination. When you get there, you'll find out you've got so many problems in that area that actually now you're starting to wish for something else. The goal moves. Now I need to achieve this. And I want to tell you this up front, because so many people spend their life dreaming about a passion, and if at the beginning they're dreaming so much they're not taking the action needed. They don't want to face the truth of it all. If they're in the middle and they're letting passion become too much of a thing, and I only do it because I feel like it, and how does it make me feel, and this driver's doing that and it's getting me angst, then again you're being ruled by passion. You've got to start to, just like the beginning driver, face the truth and show yourself what needs to be done business-wise. And when I say business-wise, the whole industry is business. Business is just transactional. Doesn't mean cash all the time. It means I provide value for you, you provide value for me, done, transaction. Which is something I talk about in Get the Drive. Now get this, right? Talk about sponsors and stuff. That's 8 ways, right, to get a drive. Sponsorship is one of them. And it's the best ones that are being used right at this moment. But a driver at the beginning will say, oh, it's £87. I'm not just talking about mine, I'm talking about other people's as well, right? Or $100 or 100 euros. Oh, I'm not sure if I can afford that. Will it really work? You're kidding me, right? You won't even invest $100 or £87 in yourself, but you'll expect companies to invest in you hundreds of thousands, millions to get you to your dream. Get real. It's not going to happen. You've got information like that, mine and other people's, that shows you this is working right now. If you do it, then it'll work. It's not a case of you buy something, right, that's it, I'm going to get sponsorship now. You've got to act. If you're falling for that, you're seeing things too close. You're seeing, again, how can I get there? What's the shortcut? Give me some advice that can just magically get me there. Can I talk to somebody and they just invest in my career? Yeah, if your career is investable. But you've got to see your career, if you're on the way up, this is, from someone who's not got the passion. If you've got the passion and you're trying to sell to someone who hasn't got the passion, who sees it logically, you're going to be a mismatch. You're not going to sell them. You've got to get into their brain, see your career and what you can offer and what motorsport can do for a company. See what their goals are first, by the way, and then match them up so you're providing value in the industry that you're involved in. Then you might get a deal. You've got to think like them. How can you earn them more cash? If they're going to pay $400,000 for your race seat, how are you going to show them that this potentially and very likely will gain them about 700? Whether it's in the marketing, the branding, value, or whether it's actual hard cash that might come back to them through the clients and the contacts that you're going to give them. You've got to come away from the passion. It's great. I know you need it. First thing in the morning, like I say, pump yourself up, see it, great, that's what I want. What have I got to freaking do? You've got to go straight into action mode. And you've got to know what this business is like. It's tough. It's just like any other business out there. You've got to basically create value for so many people on the way up. And that's the same with anything in life. It's the same with relationships. If you've got this fluffy relationship in your mind, but then you're not putting the work in to maintain that relationship and to help it grow, it's not going to. Take this on. Passion is important, but But if you're allowing this dream, this daydream of what it's going to be like when you're there, it's going to hold you back. You've got to be more passionate about the process. You've got to be more passionate about every single day. What can I do? Right, we tried this yesterday. Did it work? Yes, no. If it didn't, how can we change it? If it did, we've got to double on this. We've got to do that again. Right, next, what else can we do? What else? Who else can I talk to? What other angle? What teams can I phone today? What budgets have I got to get? Are there championships that are more affordable that I can do and get the ball rolling that way? Shall I go for 30 sponsors giving a little? Shall I go for 4 sponsors giving a lot? All of this has got to be on your big to-do list every single day if you're at the beginning and if you're in the middle. Even if you're with a driver program that's paying for everything, or a sponsor that's paying for everything, and you think to yourself, oh, this is great, this is amazing, all I've got to do is go out there and drive. And as long as I keep driving at my best, I'm going to get all the way. No one gets promised that, because things change. You get a sponsor now, but in 3 years they go bankrupt, and all of a sudden, sorry, we can't back this anymore. You're on your back, you're on your ass. It's not going to happen. You've always got to create value, even when you feel like things are going a bit too good at the moment. That's your sign to really kick it in. Take advantage, get the ball really rolling, turbo it. You got this? Never fall for the passion. Have it there all the time. You know what you want, you know why you want it, it's driving you, but get more driven by the work you do each day, by the little wins, by the small goals, like what have I got to do this time next week? What have I got to pull off this time in 3 weeks? In a year? The big one should be the year, really. And you know it's going the right direction, but what have I got to do today? Every single day to nail this. That's where the head should be. Don't daydream. Don't just keep looking on the YouTube and looking at all these different races and saying it's amazing. This was the quality this driver had. Oh, isn't it amazing? I want that. Then I want this quality. No, just get to brute work. Be realistic. Talk the language of business. And I'm sure you'll stand much of a chance, more of a chance than somebody who's just, oh, I want to be a race driver.